I want to give some unsolicited advice because I love the people in this country. And in cities and towns around this country, they're going to have these No Kings rally. I would advise people, again, unsolicited, find out if there's a rally near where you are and stay away. I would hate to see innocent people hurt.
This is the Dollemore Daily. I'm guest host Garrison Hayes. It is becoming abundantly clear that this administration and its allies are terrified of the American people rising up in protest. This weekend, more than 2,500 No Kings Day protests are planned across the country, across all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Are you going? I'm curious. As Axios reports, there is growing frustration, you probably feel it, about the ongoing government shutdown. There is widespread opposition to the way that the president is using the military to crack down on Democratic-led cities across America. And people are stepping up. But MAGA world is doing everything in their power to frame these demonstrations as something that they are not. I want you to watch this clip right now.
Can you make a 5-second prediction here for us? How long does this go on?
I hope it ends soon. I don't think it will end before the Hate America rally on the mall on Saturday, where all the Marxists and Antifa people and all the people who hate Trump and hate America will be there. After that, though, I hope there's a couple of sensible Democrats who will come to their senses over in the Senate and vote the right way to do the right thing that they have always done every time in the past in their career. They need to do it now for the people, for the American people.
They are throwing it all at the wall. Marxists, Antifa, hate America, hate Trump. It's like everything. Like, let's just try to smear it and call it whatever. Maybe one of these will stick is kind of the idea, right? Just throwing it all at the wall. Donald Trump's Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, had this to say just the other day.
We're on day 15, and it doesn't look like there's any sign of a deal.
Well, there's a thought out there that they're at least waiting to this crazy No Kings rally this weekend, which is going to be the farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party, which is a big title, and no kings equal no paychecks. We are paying our military today. The Pentagon went into surplus funds and will be able to make the paychecks.
Farthest left, hardest core, more unhinged in the entirety of the most unhinged people in the entirety of the Democrat. Is that you? Is he describing you? Maybe he's describing you. I don't know. Perhaps we should give them a little bit of a reminder of what the No Kings Day looked like earlier this year. I believe on the president's birthday, one of the largest protest days in American history. Watch this.
More than 5 million people turned out for the No Kings protest on Saturday. That was also the day of Donald Trump's birthday. According to one data analyst, it may have been the single biggest day of demonstrations in our country's history. 50,000 people showed up in New York City. 70,000 people marched in Seattle, Washington. In Los Angeles, where protests have been taking place all week against Donald Trump's immigration policies, as well as his deployment of the National Guard against the wishes of that state's governor and Los Angeles city mayor. More than 200,000 people protested. This was the scene in Philadelphia, where 80,000 people were seen marching down the Ben Franklin Parkway, waving flags and chanting.
Well, if you do decide to go out this weekend, Sean Hannity has some unsolicited advice for you. And I want you to pay very close attention to the image that he's trying to plant in the minds of his viewer. This is very important. I want to help you kind of see through some of the things that are happening here. So watch this image. Listen to the language. Listen to what he calls back to. Watch this.
Stephen Miller is with us. I want to give some unsolicited advice because I love the people in this country. And in cities and towns around this country, they're going to have these No Kings rally. And to me, it has all the feel of the environment in the summer of 2020. You know, the mostly peaceful riots where, you know, a couple of dozen dead Americans, thousands of injured cops, billions in property damage. I would advise people, again, unsolicited, find out if there's a rally near where you are and stay away. I would hate to see innocent people hurt.
Stay away, he says, because if you go, it might be like the 2020 protests. It might be looting and fires and destruction of property, because that's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to associate the BLM protests of 2020 with, even though we know factually, the data, we know factually, mostly peaceful protests. They're mostly peaceful. People had a great time. I went to several protests in 2020. They were phenomenal. They were outstanding. People were so kind. There was singing, there was chanting, but there was no violence. And we know that to be true. The data backs it up. But what they do is that they play over and over and over and over again these images that embed in your mind and in the public memory that this was something that was violent, but it wasn't. But I think they're telling you to stay away for a different reason. Because if you go, you might be susceptible to the loads of propaganda that they are preparing to pump into the media to tell you that these people were violent and that these people were something that they aren't. So here's my unsolicited advice to you. I'll take a page out of the Sean Hannity book. Do not obey in advance. Take lots of videos if you go. Look out for each other. Be safe. That's what I think you should do. That's it for me in this one. I'm Garrison Hayes, guest hosting for the Jesse Dollemore, my friend. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, to the Dollemore channel, Jesse Dollemore's channel, if you aren't already. I'd also love it if you came over to subscribe to my channel. The link is definitely down in the bio, Garrison Hayes. Thank you all so much for the warm welcome yesterday. I've said this a few times, but YouTube went down or had some type of glitch of some sort. So if you missed yesterday's video, go back, take a look, check out what we have going on. I also explained that Jesse's out, so I'm guesting for a few days, which is very, very exciting for me. That's it for me in this one. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Many of you are aware that my dear friend and brother of choice, not of blood, Brett McAfee, suffered a near-fatal medical emergency last summer while our families were on vacation in Scotland. I appreciate to no end the outpouring of support for Brett that you all gave, and I'm also very happy to report that he is safe and healing and working that long path of recovery. What I've probably not told you about Brett is that beyond being an excellent friend, he's also a talented writer. We have been the best of friends since we were kids, and I have been continually inspired by his creativity and by the truly singular take that he has on life. Over 2 decades ago, he wrote a poem called The Grateful Child. It's an acknowledgement of all the simple strengths that we tend to overlook. Written from the perspective of a young person, multiple grateful children express gratitude to their parents for the elements that make them who they are. The accounting of these everyday gifts inspires a clear reminder that we should not take anything for granted. I've shared Brett's remarkable poem with numerous people over the years, and a reoccurring response is that this should be a book. Well, we finally decided to listen to those people. The Grateful Child is not only a children's book for adults in your life, it's also an adult's book for children in your life. Everyone will appreciate its straightforward yet elegant celebration of life's little endowments. Click the link below to pre-order now, or simply scan this QR code and order your copy or copies today. But this being an illustrated book, we could not survive on the words alone. To pair with Brett's touching words, we searched all over for an illustrator who could bring The Grateful Child to visual life. We landed on somebody right here in the community from this show. Leah Farshid is an internationally acclaimed illustrator who, like you, is also an audience member. The moment we saw the first images that Leah drew to accompany Brett's text, we knew we had a perfect combination. It brings me tremendous joy to share my best friend's beautiful poem and Leah's spectacular images with the world. Everyone can benefit from The Grateful Child, just as I benefit from Brett's lifelong friendship. Share this beautiful book with your children. Share it with your parents or other relatives. The Grateful Child is an easy and exceptional way to show appreciation for someone in your life, young or old. Support someone you love and support this channel by giving The Grateful Child. Click the link below to pre-order now or simply scan this QR code. I am pretty sure your children need a copy. And your mom, your nieces and your nephews, your Grandpa Charlie too. Don't forget Grandpa Charlie. I think he'd love this. Make The Grateful Child a part of your life. It has been such an excellent part of mine.